How's it going, everyone? Just Jalal here, and I want to put out this speculation video slash theory video really quick before I continue playing Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which a lot of you probably are. So hopefully you guys let me know in the comment section below where you are currently at. I am currently on my second attempt to go to the dungeons. You know, you got Rito Village, Goron City, the Zonai area. The Zonai, not the Zonai, the Zora's domain, and then Gerudo Town. I am currently on my way to the Zora's domain. I keep getting it mixed up with Zonai. That's what happens when you have so many Z's in the Legend of Zelda. I didn't realize that's how many Z's there are. There's plenty, which makes me think that the British have it right by calling it Z. That's a little less confusing than Z when you have so many S and C's and Z's sounding letters. I'm getting sidetracked. I want to put out a speculation video before I continue, and to just kind of have these thoughts that have been marinating with me in the last few hours and days, and try to come up with like a theory on what the story is going to conclude to, because I've been playing just about, you know, a few dozen hours, and I have my own ideas now, which chances are it's gonna be, this video will be outdated by the time I beat the game sometime next month. But as of right now, these are just some ideas and speculations that I just feel like I needed to say out loud, and I hope you guys can help me pull it back, or at the very least, you know, push towards this narrative that this is gonna be where we find out why The Legend of Zelda is called The Legend of Zelda. So if you played the very beginning of the Great Sky Island, you know that Zelda's the one who gives you the rewind ability, because she's the one who basically goes to the past. Because when you give her the Master Sword, it's no longer an inventory, which is a pretty cool game design, but at the same time you have to realize, like, hey, why do I not have the Master Sword anymore? Kind of makes you think, and you realize that there was a reason for that. I don't know what the reason was, but I believe that Zelda took the Master Sword, went back in time, and used the 7 sages to recover its true strength, or whatever it needs to do to be back to 100%. Because if you notice in the very beginning, when the Master Sword breaks, a piece of the Master Sword cuts Ganondorf, and if he bleeds, he can die, which means that there is a possibility that whatever was in that Master Sword, whether it's Fi or whether it's the magic of the 7 sages, or Zelda's magic powers, or whatever it may be, can recover over time, or at the very least find a new alternative that will allow Link to use that sword to cut down Ganondorf somewhere in the future. Now, this is all speculation. Chances are it's going to be completely outdated. It's definitely going to be wrong. To what extent, I don't know. This is just my ideas. I would love for you to let me know in the comment section below how right or wrong I'm heading towards that direction. Let's just try to keep it as spoiler free and generic as possible so that we don't ruin it for others. But if you've been playing Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom as much as I have, chances are you might not be at the end of the game. But for making sure that everyone else who comes into this video, or even in my case, not get spoiled, let's just try to keep that environment as spoiler free as possible. Again, this is only speculation. I'm only coming up with ideas, and they're probably wrong, but this is how I'm feeling just because I want to say it. So Legend of Zelda is because she is the legend. She is the reason why you have the power. She is your crutch to what is essentially the Master Sword's will to cut down the Demon King. The Demon King can get cut down. That we do know. Only problem is we don't have the Master Sword. So Zelda's gonna be out there in the world, in the past, or wherever the hell she is, figuring it out how to like get everybody to come together to some capacity and wage war against the Demon King. Because if it's like what the past tablets, the Zonai tablet says there was this great war, and it's all coming full circle. We're gonna do another war somewhere at the end of the game, right? So we're gonna do a war, and maybe in the war, everyone brings like the piece of the Master Sword, and then when you put them all together, Link gets the hilt from Zelda, who returns from the past, and he pulls it out from something or somewhere and unites the Master Swords, and boom, bada bing, bada boom, you got the Master Sword that can cut down Ganondorf, all thanks to the help of Zelda. How did you get this? She tells you her legend. She tells you the reincarnation of what allowed her to do this, because everyone's experienced this 10,000 years ago. Everyone knows how it went, and she is going to try to prevent that and break the cycle, because there's a lot with the Zonai and like Ouroboros, and then there's Xenoblade involved, and Xenoblade is in my mind, so I'm thinking about all these different things. So the idea is Zelda finally gets her legend told, and we find out that her legend consists of being the one who creates the weapon that allows Link to finally defeat the Demon King. Now, your hands are the one to defeat Ganon, but it's really the effort of Zelda and her legend that allows you to take down Ganondorf and the great evil Ganon and the Demon King, whichever you want to call him at the end of the game. And that's where I believe this game is gonna blow my mind, because this is just what I'm coming up with, just off the cuff. But I think that's ultimately what they're going for, because they do seem to be giving us a lot of lore. Like the very beginning is talking about the imprisonment war, which, let's be honest, they just probably threw that out there as like a topic to get the plot going. It's like, oh, the Great War, the Imprisonment War. Yeah, let's call that. And then the adventure happened. Boom, Skyward Sword or something. And so they've made pretty loud and clear that Skyward Sword was instrumental. The remake was instrumental to allow Tears of the Kingdom to happen. And we're seeing a lot of the reasoning behind it now, but it's probably going to make more sense once you get to the very end. So the Sky Islands are definitely a portion of Skyward Sword, and the story seems to be very much a sequel to Skyward Sword, because it seems like it's the very first time Demise lands to Hyrule and creates the Imprisonment War, which is what the story depicts 10,000 years ago. Now, I believe that this Imprisonment War is the very first story of the Legend of Zelda. Like, Skyward Sword's the very first game of the timeline, but this is where it all kind of started. This is where essentially the Legend of Zelda that the Hyruleans know essentially starts from this point on. Now, Skyward Sword is essentially like, I guess, a prequel in the world of Hyrule, and then the Legend of Zelda story starts from this Imprisonment War, which kind of leads to all the other Zeldas, using that as a basis. But the Skyward Sword era is essentially the stuff that created the legend, and then the legend themselves started from this Imprisonment War. So that is where I'm kind of getting at. I have no real valid reasons or no real concrete evidence to support that, just ideas. But I've only been on the second dungeon at this time, and chances are this game is probably going to throw more curveballs at me. But that being said, let me know in the comment section below how right or wrong I may or may not have been. Definitely keep it spoiler free in the comments, because most of us are at different portions of the game. But I would love to hear what your theories and speculation is, because this game seems to go places that I was not expecting. I mean, I did expect this game to be a sequel to Breath of the Wild, but I mean, Breath of the Wild story was not that complex, so I was expecting a little bit more story, but this is giving me a lot more than I expected. So I have so many ideas, I don't even know where I should begin, stop, start, or begin. So I need y'all to help me out, figure out where I should be heading towards and what I probably am over speculating, because I'm getting way too excited, and seeing this new world of Hyrule and the depth makes me believe they will give us all the story and lore we could possibly want in a Zelda game, because that's the thing about Zelda games, you know, like they give us a little bit and we want more, but the stuff they do give us, we're more than happy. So they're just gonna want to give us everything. Like, let's just say our Zelda fill might be enough to hold us over for the next Switch console, or whenever that may be. And even so, it would not be a launch title, so the next Zelda game might be far and few in between. So let's be honest, they're just gonna give us enough to be happy with. And what I'm playing, I'm more than happy, and I'll gladly play until I can get to the end, which again, may be a while, might be by the end of summer. I don't know. This game is really epic, and I do not have that much free time. So, like I said, in the comment section below, tell me how right or wrong I am about this idea that the Legend of Zelda is going to be told, and let me know what you think this story is truly about. I still think this is where we find out the Legend of Zelda. Like, they're basically pointing at Zelda. Like, we legit thought we'd be playing a Zelda. I still feel like we can, because we played in Age of Calamity, so I feel like they're gonna give her a spotlight in this game where you play as Zelda and you find out how strong she really is. Because Age of Calamity, they gave it to us, it was fantastic, and now I want that in the mainline series. So, am I right or wrong? In the comment section below, let me know what y'all think. Let me know how wrong I am. This theory will probably be outdated by the time, you know, next week rolls around, or shoot, next month for sure. So write down while you still can, and we'd love to read what y'all have to say. Hope you enjoy Tears of the Kingdom as much as I am, and I'll check you guys in the next one. Later.